All right. Okay, so I'm still in Antigonish. We're leaving tomorrow to go back to Ontario, and we've had a really terrific time. I've managed to see all of my family members. We parked the tent trailer in Myra River Campground for 2 nights, and we had a really awesome time with like all my brothers and my sister that lives in Halifax. We did that before, but so I managed to see everybody. After a 2-year pandemic, not being able to come to Nova Scotia, I managed to get everybody in. It only took 3 days of camping and a lot of miles on the car. But it's quite all right. But the other thing I did while I was home, which is really cool, I'm just going to set this recording going.
Recording in progress.
Is I went and picked up a fiddle for one of my students back in Ontario, who's a young fella. His family are from England. They're all from England, and they immigrated here years and years ago now. But he's about what is he? 16. He's 16 now. I started teaching him when he was about 11, Jerome's age. Now he's 16, and him and his brother Arlo are really good musicians. They play all over the place, and they're getting to play even more places. But Jem's little sister Roni plays the fiddle. And Roni, when I first met her, was about 4, but she is now much larger and needs a full-size fiddle. So I had to pick up this Clay Carmichael original fiddle for her since I was visiting my brother, who happens to be about 20 minutes away. Look at this gorgeous fiddle. You see that? So this maple comes from a hydro cut not far from Clay's house. And he's made many fiddles from it, he says, and he has enough pieces to make like 100 more fiddles from that tree. So this is real Cape Breton maple. And look at that striping, eh? That is an incredible old tree. That's such a beautiful piece of wood. Now the front, even though everybody knows Cape Breton is covered in spruce trees, the front comes from Colorado. Because it's a certain type of spruce that they need for fiddles, and it's not actually plentiful in Cape Breton. But anyway, so here's the Clay Carmichael fiddle. They're very prized. I know many professionals that have them, and they're really beautiful fiddles with a beautiful sound. And I'd never actually met Clay. So it was really good to meet him, and I had an afternoon in his house. I played a few tunes on this fiddle, and we talked a lot about fiddles. And also bows, because I happened to have the nice bow from Heinel to show him, and he was very interested in that. The other great thing I got to do while I was home on that same trip was drop in on Sandy McIntyre at the home that he's in Inverness, and my God, that was a great time. When I first got there, he didn't quite recognize me, just slightly, then, when I played a tune, he came around a little more. And then I showed him the bow, because we both love this bow. We both used to go and borrow this bow from Heinel as often as possible and keep it out till the last minute. We often had a chuckle about it. So when I first mentioned the bow to him, he didn't really know what I was talking about. But then, when he actually played a little bit with it, he said, "Is this the $12,000 French bow from Heinel?" And I said, "Yes." And he said, "Oh my God." And then him and his wife both have dementia, unfortunately, and they had it in their heads for the last while that somebody had stolen Sandy's fiddle from the old folks' home and replaced it with a much lesser fiddle. I don't know why they got that idea, but I said, sure, go ahead, go get it. I'll have a look, because I used to tune Sandy's fiddle every Thursday before we started for years at the Brogue Inn in Port Credit. So I know it very well, especially the pointy pegs. You know those pointy pegs that got the little nub on them that hurt your thumb or your palm when you're trying to drive it in? So I remember those quite well. But anyway, so he went and got the fiddle, and sure enough, it was his fiddle. I recognized it right away. But it was really at a tune, and so much so that the bridge was crooked. And so he couldn't even make sense of it at all. And I think that's what prompted him thinking that it was a different fiddle, because he really couldn't get it working. So I got her tuned up, and I played a few little notes on it, not even a tune, and his face started to brighten. And then I played a tune on it, and he started to brighten even more. And then he took the fiddle, and after we played together for a couple of sets, he and Lucy were both assured that he had his fiddle again. He was very happy to have it. He still had the idea that it was stolen and somehow it came back. But anyway, it doesn't matter. He was very happy to have it after that and a lot less agitated. And then we went on to play 3 or 4 more sets together. And he got better and better as we went along. And by the time I left, he was back to regular old Sandy, cracking jokes and trying to see if he could get my bow in his case without me knowing. So it was absolutely terrific to see him. Really, really nice. But anyway, I thought I would use this Clay Carmichael fiddle tonight to give you guys an idea of the possibilities. I'm just going to tune her up though. Now, this fiddle is extremely out of tune. Everybody watch me and listen to me tune it. Whoa! I'm going to have to use the peg for that one. Now, that A was really flat, and when I nudged it up into tune with my peg, it went right bang on, right away. I'm always distrustful of that, because it really hasn't settled yet. So whenever that happens, I always give it a good go. And make sure, and sure enough, it went a little flat. There we go, that'll do. Now I'm going to go to the other one. Whoa. Now that happened almost again. It almost went right in tune again, but I don't trust it. I'm going to give it a little up. Okay, that'll do for now. Now I'll do the next one. Now that went way too much. That I trust. That's what usually happens. Okay, now the E. Now this one I gotta be gentle. Very slightly nudger. There we go. Now, recheck. So with all that tuning, my A went a bit sharp. I had to adjust it. D stayed good. And the G is the cleanest dirty shirt, as usual. Okay, so there you go. I just tuned up a very, very out of tune fiddle. Did you guys take note of how I did that? In case it happens to you sometime. Okay, so why don't we get started now? I'm finished talking about fiddles and Sandy and everything else. So maybe we'll start with our usual, our nice G major scale. And then we'll try some double stops that we were talking about last time. Maybe we'll try some double stops in a different key there tonight as well. Okay? So I'm just going to mute everybody. All right. Well, that's a lovely bottom end. Okay, here we go. G major scale. Let's see how this thing rattles. Ready? Go. Okay, I gotta just a little adjust. Okay, now, so that was G major. Who would give themselves, say, 75% on that G major? Okay, not too bad. How about 80? Anybody giving me 80? Yeah? How about 90? Okay, let's work with 80. Let's see if we can keep up the 80. We're going to go a little bit faster. We're going to take that scale a little bit faster and see if you can keep it up to where it was. I'm loving the bottom of this fiddle. Okay, here we go. Ready? Go. Okay, how's everybody feeling at that speed? Still going pretty good for the most part? Okay, let's push it once more. One more time. And I'm going to blast the arpeggio in afterwards, so prepare yourself, okay? It's a tester. We'll see how you do. A 1, 2, 3, Arpeggi. How are we feeling? Everybody still feeling the 80%? Yeah? Well, that's good. So as you're doing it, as you're working on it, let's see if we can keep up there. And when you're doing your G major scale kind of from now on, maybe you could just up the speed right away because it seems to be doing much better for everybody. But that's how you keep the forward momentum going, is to challenge yourself every time. Speed is usually a good way to challenge yourself, you know. Remember, the other way to challenge yourself is to keep the note in tune the whole time you're playing it. So if you're still on the slow side, and you want to challenge yourself in a different way, that's an extremely good thing to do. Try to keep that tuner happy from one end of the bow to the other. It's a big challenge. Believe me, it's not easy. And if you can do that, that's going to make you stronger as well. So there's not just speed is the way to get better and more accurate. Also that, okay, if you have trouble with speed. Okay, great. Now we're going to do some double stops in the key, in the G. Well, it's not really about the key. It's just the open string double stops. So let's do it together. We're going to do a down bow and an up bow. So we'll start with the G-D group of strings, and then we'll go D-A and A-E, and we'll do 2 A-E's, and then move back the other way, okay? So a down and an up. Ready? Go. Oh, now everybody's arm is moving very smoothly there on the zoom. It's looking really, really good, okay? Let's do it again exactly the same way. Ready, go. Okay, now this fiddle is really, really nice. What do you guys think? Are you liking it over the Zoom? Do you think it sounds good so far? Yeah? Now, I only played it a couple of times, and fiddles that take time to get to know. They don't show themselves right away. One thing I noticed from, I played it at Clay's place to playing it here, is that the bottom part, the G-D part, sounds much richer than the top part. don't know if you can hear that over the Zoom. The top end has a little bit more pinched than the bottom end. But anyway, so there you go. You know, it's nice to learn about fiddles and listen for what might be going on there. But that's one thing I noticed right away. Anyway, how are the double stops going? How are we getting along with them? Are we getting reliable double stops that sound good and are in tune? What's that, Julie? You look like you were saying something, and I'd love to hear it. Oh, you're still muted. Oh, there you
go. Stroke, I'm pretty good. Going up, I seem to shift a bit between strings, but it's going pretty good.
Okay, that's good. Now, on that up bow, what that tells me is, if you're doing it on the up bow, it just means that you need a little bit more of the chicken wing going, pulling the bow, okay? Because then you can control the pitch and the tiller. Whereas if you start to get into the pushing it, your elbow does it, which is not reliable, right?
Oh, okay. Right, yeah. Right, okay.
So that might help a little bit, but that's good to hear. Down bow is easier. Anybody else have feedback for me with their double stops? How it's going? No? Okay, that's good. So if it's getting reliable, that's great. Now I'd like to up the game a little bit. Well, we'll do it once more, but then we're going to up the game. We're going to do one of our bowing patterns. Do you remember our bowing patterns? The chicken bow and the little circles and the other patterns. So we're going to try some of those, except on double stops. Okay? Try to make them, you'll see if you can get the touch right to make them working, especially the See that? I'll show you first. I gotta be really careful with this fiddle, man. Okay, so I'll try. For instance, we'll try the down, up, up. That's what we're going to do. You see how that works? And you see there's more challenges. So you might need to dig in a tiny bit more for that stop and start mechanism that you were working on in the single string and to get going again. So let's give it a try. Let's start on the GD. And we'll do the down, and we'll do two of them. Let's give ourselves a chance on each pair of strings, okay? So down, up, up twice. Ready, slow. Another one. Next. 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 Now, how'd that go? You see the challenges in there? Did it work? Were you able to make it work, kind of a fashion? Okay, I'm going to rosin this thing because brand new strings suck a lot of rosin at first. Give this fiddle a good warm-up. A break-in, as it were. The varnish is still a tiny bit sticky on it, for God's sakes. Okay. Okay, so we'll try that again. Just the down, up, up. Bowing pattern, except this time on two strings. All right. Let's do it. A 1, 2, 3, go. Now that looked like it was going a little bit better. How's everybody doing with that? Did it getting somewhere? Deborah, you're shaking your head. What's going on with you?
It just seems like there's one, like, right about here that I can get it balanced. But once I get further up or further down,
yeah,
when I'm closer to my hand, I'm biting in, and when I get up towards the top, it gets wispy and just on one string instead of two.
Okay, so yeah, so very good. You're kind of illustrating the first challenges of doing something like this with 2 strings. So you need to dig in a tiny bit more at the top, and you need to get the weight off a little bit more near the bottom. See that? Yeah, remember your shock absorbers, right? So as you get to the empty end of the pickup truck, you add a little weight and go ahead and add it. It is, like I was trying to observe myself, especially with this new fiddle. Whenever you try a different fiddle, you always notice your own approach a little bit more because you're kind of trying to find your way. And I noticed that I was definitely digging in a tiny bit more to do those double stops with this bowing pattern, with the starts and the stops, okay? So you might need to add a little weight, and that's totally fine. But again, on the up bow, you just get the weight off of that string. Get her off there. Pick up that bow. Remember your bow push-ups, right? Like that. And so as you go up, you just kind of keep that weight off, and you'll be okay. The other thing is, of course, the elbow. Just make sure that elbow is stationary. But I would say those adjustments are going to do it for you. Always remember also a bit of this. Never goes astray. Fulcrum of the thumb. You use your pinky to make the tip go up, and you weigh in with your first finger there. See that? To get that rocking thing going. And that's our tiller. That's how we control that, which string you're on. See that? Okay, let's do it again. Let's do it again. Okay, here we go. Ready? Okay, a little bit better that time? Oh, that's really good. Good. Now, here's the other thing. So, you were talking about, when you get up to the chicken wing aspect, it gets a little harder there. For sure, it is. Everything is harder when you're up in that shape. So, let's try a little bit of this. Little circles. You remember the little circles in front of your nose? Now we're going to do it on 2 strings, okay? So let's try 8 little circles on the GD, and then we'll move, okay? 1, 2, 3, and next one. Next one. Next one. Next one. Okay. Now, sometimes this move is a little confusing for people that are learning because I always talk about how you're doing it with your hand like this. See that? Little circles with your hand to get a nice sound, chirpy sound when you're doing it. When you're looking at me doing it, like I'm watching my Zoom window, you can see my arm moving, right? It's definitely, my upper arm is definitely moving, but I have to tell you that that's not the original effort. The original effort is this, but as I get a momentum, see, it starts to move my arm too, and it's totally fine. But the original effort comes from the hand. Okay, let's do it again right away with that in mind. I'm gonna have to tune this thing up again pretty soon. Ready, 2, 3, go. Next. 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 Okay, now how are we going that time? Is everybody kind of getting the hang of it a bit? Oh, that's really good. Really, really good. Now, the next thing, if you want to expand your torture sessions, the next thing would be the this here. Or, I don't know what's easier. This, the chicken. Oh, I forgot. Let's try the little circles again, but this time at the tip of the bow. Watch me do it first. Lot harder. See how I'm doing that? So I'm really just using my hand to do that, and it's a lot lighter, so you'll feel the bow bounce. And you want to let it bounce. You want to let it bounce and then pick it up. Just like that. See that? And you got to give it a bit of meat too, because it's an empty end of the pickup truck. So let's give it a try. Tip of the bow, little fingers. It could be a disaster at first, but that's okay. A 1, 2, 3, go. There we go. Now, isn't that a challenge, eh? Jeez, my God. It takes a lot of sort of balancing to get that bounce to happen on its own like that. But then once you started, did everybody feel a momentum come on? Whether you wanted it or not? Yeah, that's the idea. So we're using this momentum, okay? This is vital for fiddling. We're all about momentum. So we're using that momentum to get that move, okay? Let's try it again. 1, 2, 3, go! Okay, that looked a little bit more controlled from my end, I gotta say, for most people that I'm looking at right now. So I hope that went okay. How's everybody doing with all those double stop exercises? Do you think it's something that you can work on and keep in mind as you move along now? That's great. That's really good. Yes, Bill? Oh, okay. Doing that reminded me of I almost hit my face and looked like somebody else almost hit their face too there with their bow while they were doing that. And it reminded me that I took the kids out for go-karts and mini golf today in Antigonish at the Snow Queen Leisure World. I think Elaine knows that place. It's on the highway. It's outside Antigonish. You can buzz around in go-karts and eat hamburgers. Anyway, we went there today and we were playing mini golf, and Sylvia was lining up for a shot, and she was having a lot of trouble using the club. It was kind of going all over the place. And I was showing her, I said, you just nudge it like this. And I stood behind her, and she goes, ugh! And she hit me full on in the side of the head with the golf club, like we would do to a burglar that was breaking into your house at 2 in the morning. Exactly the same thing happened to me. It hit me like that, and I fell to the ground. It was very embarrassing. It still hurts like hell. But I just said, yeah, no, not so much like that, Sylvia. A little bit gentler than that. Anyway, so careful. It's hazardous. Okay, so that's good double stop practice. And I think we'll just keep going with that this week. So the long bows of the double stops, and then the down, up, down, up. And it's important to do that one before you try any of the little short bows, because the stopping and starting is really, that's kind of the muscles that you're working. See that? That's what you need to work to be able to do these short bows. So if you do the stopping and starting first, it's a really good warm-up. So long bows, down, up, down, up, and then do some little circles around the frog, and then in the end try some circles around the tip. Okay? Getting a good sound, a good momentary sound from that.
Dan, my daughter, was here on the weekend and we watched Psycho. Now I want to call her and just do that on the phone.
Yeah, that's right. That's what it is. You got to get her squeaking a little bit better for that, though. Yeah. Go closer to the bridge. That's great. Okay, cool. So now that's a good workout in the key of G. Now, can somebody remind me the last music we were working on? Because I've done a lot of traveling since last week, and I didn't have a chance to go back and see what we were doing. So what's the tune that we were working on? Anybody?
Off to California was one, Dan.
Oh, that's really, really good. That's the most recent one, I think. And then the song, what was the song that I put on YouTube?
Wild Mountain Time.
Wild Mountain Time, yeah. Did anybody get to have a look at that? Did anybody have a crack at that? How did it go? Could you put it together? Oh, that's great. That's excellent. That's what I was hoping for. Okay, now that is in the key of A, isn't it?
The other thing we did with John Allen's jig and Cock of the North, and you were trying to get it at 84.
Okay, we'll do that tonight too. That'd be really, really good. 84 is
the goal. I can't get it to 84.
You can't get it to 84?
No, I'm more like 75.
Oh, 75 is a really good practicing tempo too. I think I meant it when we started that. That's where we started. So what we're going to do, Bill, we're going to up it. We're going to try to see if we can get it like, say, 78 or so tonight. And if that means that you have to skip the odd note, that's okay. Okay, it's no big deal. That's your chance to go to the bar. So we're going to just do it like that, because the more you try to do that, the notes that you have to so occasionally skip, there's going to be fewer and fewer as you try to do it, okay? But anyway, so we got a good plan. That's great. So why don't we start off with Wild Mountain Time? I think I did it in the key of A. Let me just check. Oh, I got to tune this thing again, which means that I got to get my phone died. So I got to get my cable. Just give me 1 second. Think about the Wild Mountain Time while I grab my cable. Oh, sorry. There we go. Plug that in. Okay. So in the key of A, so that's going to be then, it's going to start on the A. I think that's how it goes. That's it in the key of A. Does that sound familiar for everybody there? Yeah. So we start on the A, and then we're going down to the D2, D1, and then right back up. Okay, so let's give it a try. Let's see what happens. We'll do a few verses and choruses. 1, 2, 3, 1. more time. Okay, everybody bringing a tear to a glass eye, I hope? So how's it going? Does anybody want to play it for me? I would love to hear it from somebody. Everybody looked like they were cheerfully playing along there. Anybody want to play it for me?
And I have a dilemma with this tune.
Oh.
I can play it with you, but I can't play it on its own. If I'm not listening to you and playing along, it's just gone.
What happens to it there, Elaine?
I don't know.
Is it a rhythmic thing?
I've been trying to figure that out all week.
Okay, well, why don't you give it a go? Maybe I can diagnose.
I missed part of it.
You just missed part of it, that's all. You got everything else right. So, will you go, lassie, go? We'll all go together. We'll pick Sweet Mountain Time. You forgot that part. And it's this here. So we got the first part. And then we got this part here. It goes A2 to the E. And then an F. And then you do that again, but back down. Yeah, that's the we'll pick Wild Mountain Time, and then All Around the Bloomin' Heather. See how that works there? So it's just you just missed the line of where they actually picked the Wild Mountain Time. Like that's. Everything else you got, the love affair and the setting is all there. It's just the actual picking that you missed. No big deal. Why don't we all try it again? See if Elaine can get that part in there, and then I'd love to hear it from somebody else. 1, 2, 3, go! Again. One more time, fancy it up. All right, how we doing now? Is that better, Elaine? You getting it in there? Okay, cool. Anybody else want to give it a try? Oh, come on, don't be shy. Let's hear it, Julie.
I'll try it. I don't think I've got the time to go.
Okay. Okay, now that was really, really good, and nicely in tune as well. You know, that seemed to be getting better for everybody. With the rhythm, see, the thing is with songs, it's a little bit up in the air, eh? Because a singer will do this song, like two different singers will do it slightly differently, and when you've heard this song, which everybody here has probably heard, say, I don't know, 500,000 times. You've probably heard, say, I don't know, like 300,000 different ways to do it. That's the problem with songs. So you can make your own decisions in that regard. You didn't play anything that wouldn't be that would be unrecognizable. You see what I mean? Here's what stuck out for me, though. This here. So you did all this exactly like I would. But then you seem to hold that one really long and then... like that. See that? Now, I have heard that, but you don't hear it that often. Mostly you hear this. And then again, same. And then same. The other thing that stuck up was this. That's the way you did kind of the tail end with a very long D. Now, again, I'm sure I've heard that, and it's nice. It's very, very nice. But I think that if you were to simplify it, it would just be kind of like... see that? Long, short, long, short, short, long. See how that works there? Okay, but again, you didn't do anything that, you know, somebody would not be able to recognize it. It's just that there's so many versions of these songs that you hear. I think you might have just kind of got carried away with the possibilities. That's what always happens to me. That's why I got to get used to these guys that I play with downtown, because they all have slightly different. Like there's this one guy from Clare, and when he plays Whiskey in the Jar, he takes a little break between each line. It's so hard to get used to. It's like it stretches it out a little further, you know, but there's this little rhythmic break, and I never seem to get my head around it. But anyway, so that's what's involved there, okay? And we'll try it again so that you can try to, if you're trying to play it along with me, it'll give you a chance to do that, yeah. How about you, Deborah? You want to give it to me?
Tonight's the first time I've tried playing it.
Ooh, well, let's hear how that goes.
I was trying to get the tune into my head the other night.
Down you go. Very nice. That's pretty well it. A little tiny bit of rhythmic confusion in the middle, just kind of like Julie was doing, but otherwise that really good. And those crickets that I hear are being very rude. I thought it was very nice. Okay? And again, we'll try it a few more times so you can straighten out that, but it's just right down the scale, eh? 3, 2, 1, A to A. See that? That's all that part is. Right down the scale.
To A.
No, D2 and then open A.
Okay.
See that?
Yeah.
Yeah. How about you, Bill? You want to give it a go? He's going to do it.
I play the guitar and the fiddle, right? So I mean, that's tricky with the C sharp minor and then the B minor.
Right.
If you do those two things, it's a lot easier to understand the thing. Eh?
Yeah, absolutely.
Don't you? Okay, I'll try it anyway.
Really good, Bill. That's really, really good. It sounds great. You got her bang on. Now, one thing that I've noticed as an improvement for you is, first of all, your intonation is much better. Like, that was all pretty well bang on in tune. Very, very good. The other thing I thought was much better for you is much better sound quality, especially with the start and stop of notes. Way better. Cleaner, nicer. So keep up that good bow work. That's working out really well.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, guys, let's work it out a few more times now. Let's get that Wild Mountain Time off the mountain. One, two, three, and... One more time. So yeah, beautiful song, great thing to do. So if anybody wants to make a video for me, that would be a great one to give me for a video, especially if you wanted to try some of those double stops that I was putting in there. They're very, very simple, and I think you'd be able to do them, especially with all this double stop work that we've been doing. Anyway, so that's for funsies and for exploration. But now let's try the old Off to California. So I'm not sure how fast we had it. I know we learned it and we practiced it, but can't remember how fast we were getting it. Before I do that, I want you guys to experience this. So I was just playing Wild Mountain Time on that Clay Carmichael, brand new, just finished, the varnish is not even dry yet, fiddle, okay? And you have that sound well in your heads now, even though it's over Zoom. Now, I'm going to try that tune again on my German. And I want you guys to see if you notice any differences. I'd love for you to tell me anything you find that's different than the Clay Carmichael. Okay. Anybody notice a difference, first of all?
Way better.
You thought it was way better?
Way better.
Okay. Interesting.
The tone goes on and on, I think.
Yeah, no, you're right, Bill. I mean, part of that is the fact that this Clay Carmichael fiddle is brand new. So it needs some time. Fiddles need time to get warmed up. But the more they vibrate, the more they become one piece for some reason. And that's really a lot what I'm hearing with this fiddle is what they call a young fiddle. It needs to be played. It needs to be rattled. All right. Anybody else give me some differences that they noticed?
I think this one was a lot richer at the top end. So it's the top notes with much more body to them, if you will.
Yes, I agree. Like when you listen to the E string on this Clay Carmichael, it's still a little tiny bit brittle, you know, and that's what I noticed as well. That's really good, Julie. Anybody else notice anything?
I don't know the term for it. It just sounded warm, like everything blended so well. With the notes all just...
On the German.
Yeah, compliment. Yeah, on the German.
On the German, yeah. Well, you guys are not far off. I mean, how about you, Elaine? Did you notice anything? And you've heard Clay Carmichael fiddles before.
Yeah. No, I thought it was the sound was richer on the German.
On the German, yeah. Now the thing you guys are really noticing there is that this fiddle cost about $5,000, right? And it's brand new fiddle, right? Whereas my German, the last time I looked at the auctioneer's price for the same maker, which is Rudolf Buchner, this is 1963. So I found another fiddle made by him in, I think it was 1957, and it went for about $19,000. See that? So, and she's an old one, right? I mean, not that old, 1963. So it's it's getting up there. It's almost 60 years old. Not that old for a fiddle, but certainly older than this brand new spanking whippersnapper. So there you go. So now you guys know something a little bit more about fiddles, you know? And if people were talking about going to the store to buy a fiddle and how hard it is, now you guys have some insight. See that? A little bit of side by side teaches you a lot. Anyway, okay, enough of that. Let's do our off to California. So let me see. I'm going to suggest a tempo, and you guys are going to tell me what you think. Let's do it. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3. Again. everybody was moving along just fine there, it would seem. Anybody having any problem areas with off to California? Anything at all? No? Well, that's great. I did. Did you hear my E string squeak in there? Happened 3 times. And it was a whistle. And what happened was, sometimes on a new fiddle that you don't know very well, the E string kind of, like, you're taking your finger off the E string, right? But it's kind of like the screen door that sticks to your butt while you're trying to get through. It's like really fast, and your finger has a hard time outrunning it. And if it doesn't outrun it, it plays the harmonic. That's it there. Sorry, I was trying to get it actually happening. But that's what happens. So this fiddle, I'm not used to it. I find the E string a little tiny bit higher than my fiddle, and so my finger, 2 times there in a row, did not outrun that E string. See that? And even though my finger was off of it, it was still already doing the whistle thing already. Nothing you can do about it. See that? So that's why that happened. And sometimes it might happen to you too. So when you take your fingers off the string, I find it's best to just kind of go to the side, especially that E string, because it's really tight and it wants to stick to your finger. So I usually just kind of go off to the side a little bit as I take my finger off. The third finger, not so easy to do, but I still I try to do a little bit of a flicky when I do that, because it really is hard to do. Let's try her a little tiny bit faster then. If you all did so well, your reward is faster. 1, 2, 3. One more. One more time. thinking, that was a workout? That's all right. It's good for you. Get those both arms going for a good long time, eh? Now, as I was doing that, I was thinking about another hornpipe that we could put with it. Very common one, very well-known one, called the Tailor's Twist. Has anybody ever heard of a tune called the Tailor's Twist? Oh, okay. Let me show you, just as a teaser. You give your arm a rest there. That's the Tailor's Twist. Now, you hear all that stuff, and it's all smoke and mirrors. It's just little scales. I'm sure you can hear that. It's a scale with 2 jogs. That's all that is. See, and then you get that little lick really easily, like in 5 seconds. And then when you play it, everybody goes, "Whoa!" And so that's what those bits are for, you know. Anyway, so that will be the next one that we do. It's called the Tailor's Twist, and I'll get it up on YouTube and stuff like that. Give you a good copy from thesession.org. It's one of the most common Irish session tunes, the Tailor's Twist. One of the first ones I got down the States, and it would go great with Off to California. So just to give you some context. Whoops, wrong one. See how nice that goes? It's a really nice little change there, and it'd be fun to do. Now, that there was an example of Cayley tempo. So if I was playing that for an Irish Cayley where they're square dancing, it would be more like this. Oh. And now I forget Off to California. Oh, yeah. Such a fun groove, such a fun tempo to do. But yeah, so if they were square dancing, that would be the tempo that you would have to play it at, which is kind of up there, eh? A little bit of heat to it. Anyway, so the next one is going to be the Tailor's Twist, and I'll put it up on the thing. Now let's see. Let's do our speed trials with our jigs. So as fast as we got them last time, I think was in the region of just below the 80 mark, am I right? Let's see here. Okay, let's see at, say, 76 to start with. So.
Said 84. I wrote it down, 84.
That's our goal.
That was the fastest.
That was the fastest, but I don't want to start at the fastest. So I think we'll start a little bit on the slow side, and then we'll see how it goes when we get to 84. So it's going to be like this. So. Okay, let's see if we can do it about that tempo. Use the opportunity to move that bow a lot. Get your nice intonation happening. Let's get through these tunes, okay? Now I'm going to turn off this sound because it's annoying and it doesn't really help. Here we go. Feel that tempo. 1, 2, 3, and... Again. Here we go. Feeling good? Good. Okay. Nothing went awry. That's really good. So now, take a little breather, and we're going to try it up at the, let's see. Let's try 82. Okay, so 82 is going to sound like this. A couple more notches. Just do it at 84. I think that's the best way to go. All right? So, limber yourself up. I'll give you a little example. You got it? Let's do it. So this should give you an opportunity to get that jig rhythm in there as best you can and get that bow arm moving, okay? 1, 2, 3, and... Okay, how are we feeling at 84? Thoughts and feelings? Everybody able to do it? Got through it okay? How about you, Bill? Did that go okay at 84 there? No? No. Is there anything specific that's bothering you, or is it just to keep practicing it?
Well, it's probably just it's the run up that goes to the da 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 da. You know, I really have a hard time. That's where I really have a hard time.
Yeah, yeah. When I have a hard time with runs up or runs down, which I do very often, in the most cases, it's always that I'm starting on the wrong note. So, just like a lot of tunes, that little lick you're talking about is just simply a scale up. That's all it is, right? But it starts on the 2. It starts on the C sharp. So it skips B. So, like, it goes from A right to C sharp and then scales up. See that? Now, for me, when I have trouble with stuff like that, it's always because I'm just trying to start that run on the wrong note. I'm trying to start it on a B, or on the A, or on a maybe even a D, you know? And if you get the starting note right for runs up or runs down, you're going to get it right most of the time. So, see if you can get it in your head that's a C, that it starts up on a C there. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, that could help. It could help. Certainly has helped me in the past with those little runs up and down. Anybody else having any trouble at 84 that I can help with? Not really? Okay. Why don't you give your arm a good break, and then we're going to try it once more. And then we'll call her quits for tonight because I got to help pack because we're going to drive for 3 days tomorrow. And it is now 9:30, almost 9:30 at night here in Nova Scotia. So we'll try this set one more time, and then after I sign off, I'll do the video for YouTube of the Taylor's Twist and find you good version so you can work on that until before we meet again next Tuesday, which would be totally fine. I'll be back in my office in Toronto. Anyway, one more time at the 84. And remember, for that run up bill, it's a C. Just think C, C. All right, here we go. Okay. 1, 2, 3, and... Poor Bill's attacked by his cat. Kicked out of his own studio. Look at that. My God. Anyway, so did you guys have any trouble at that tempo there? Is it working good at that tempo? Well, guess what? That was 86. All right, I sneaked her up on you. I didn't even realize it. Look at that. So now I'm thinking that we're not a far cry from 90. Okay, I don't think it's going to be too hard for us to do it at 90, which I got to tell you is a very common tempo for session jigs. When you go to a regular session, you know, like a normal session, say in wherever you live, you're going to hear jigs at about 90. That's the usual. So when you're getting close, that's a really good sign. I'm just going to give you an example of what it sounds like at 90. See that? That is doable. It's definitely doable, okay? So think about that as being your goal, because you guys seem to have no trouble at 86 there, like except for Bill being attacked by the cat. But that could be because he doesn't like Scottish music. That could be, because I'm sure there's many cats that don't like Scottish music. But anyway, so shoot for that 92, I'd say, and I think it's doable. And then we'll leave those jigs. We'll do the same speed trials, but we'll do it with another set. I don't know which one yet. I'll go back and look at what we've done so far, and we'll see if we can get a set of reels kind of ramping up there as well. Would be very good. Okay, so you got Wild Mountain Time. You're going to keep working on Off to California with the tempo coming up a little bit, watching for that squeal. And you're going to look at the Taylor's Twist that I put up there tonight. And then you got these jigs, you're going to go for 92. And don't forget our bowing patterns with double stops. You're going to mess around with that this week as well. Okay? All right. Thanks for your patience with the garage and the little bit shorter class, but we'll be back to abnormal next week. And have a great week there, everybody.
You too. Safe travels, Dan.
Thank you very much, Elaine. See you guys.
Bye now.
Bye-bye.